Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it. The Ducks have won.
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Catch made. Touchdown, Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Ducks athletics.
We've got the first day of football practice on the horizon. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, the Ducks will be practicing this afternoon. Coach Lanning will meet with the media this evening. We'll have his full press conference available on the Go Ducks YouTube. You might be watching this show on the Go Ducks YouTube. We'll also have it for you on Duck Insider tomorrow, all of his thoughts. Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. He returns from summer break. He had a good summer. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk with him every Wednesday throughout the course of the year. Also, details on the Oregon Football Fan Fest and a bunch of interviews today with more Duck student athletes that we had here in the Country Financial Studio. Let's begin, though, with Fan Fest. The Oregon Athletic Department will host a fall Fan Fest on Sunday, August 13th in the Moseley Center. Student athletes from Oregon football, soccer, volleyball, women's basketball, and men's basketball will be in attendance with various games, inflatables, activity stations, agility drills, and much more for fans to enjoy. The event will start at 11 a.m. and will run until 12:30 p.m. Admission is free. Excuse me. And fans must sign a liability waiver upon entry. Parking will be available for free in the Moseley lot and the Autzen East lot. That's Sunday, August 13th, Fan Fest, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Fans will have the opportunity to take photos with student athletes in attendance, but no autographs will be permitted. No food or drink is allowed inside the Moseley Center. Available activities for fans include a football passing station, receiving station, and field goal kicking. Also, soccer penalty kicks, a dunk tank, no word if I will be in the dunk tank for you or not, photo station, a combine station, and lawn games, all available at Fan Fest, our Fall Fan Fest, inside the Moseley Center, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., Sunday, August 13th. More details, if you missed any of what I just said, GoDucks.com. A big name around Oregon football, I think, heading into this fall camp is Tez Johnson. What can he do in the wide receiver room? Now, the kind of player that he is and why he came to Oregon. Certainly Bo Nix had something to do with that. That story and a lot more. Tez Johnson meeting with the media heading into today's start to fall camp.
Start you with an easy one. Why Oregon? What was it about this place that made you want to come out here?
It's a dream school of mine. I always wanted to be an Oregon Duck. So actually being able to come here was a blessing. So that's why Oregon.
Has it lived up to some of the expectations once being out here?
Oh yes, I never had since being out here. I have not had one dull moment. Like I enjoyed everything, the nature. There's a lot of trees, more trees up here than back at home. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Did your interest in Oregon grow in part because you were able to watch your brother play here and play so well and all that?
I say yes, but I was just always just a fan of the jerseys, how much like combination they have. Like every weekend, my stepdad would show me a new combination that they have on, and I just fell in love with it even more. So with Bo playing up here, it's good. It's gonna be fun, really fun. Get to play with him again, and yeah. So.
Do you remember last time you got a pass from him in a game?
His senior year in high school, championship game.
Was there any significance to the play or anything, or is it just kind of?
Nah, I think my last pass I caught from him was like a hitch, like a little stop route. Picked up 6 yards, just wasn't nothing special.
You ask anybody around this team about you, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is fast. What does it mean to you that you've been able to make that sort of impression on all these elite athletes here, that everybody is just like enamored with your speed out there?
My speed, I think it's just God-given. I've always been fast. It was never like I work at it now just because I have to, and like I want to be faster than everybody else still. But I was always fast. I was God-given. Like I was one of those kids in the neighborhood. Like I get picked first because I'm the fastest. You give me the ball, I'm going to score. So that's what my speed pretty much.
What did that play in the spring game mean to you? Just to have that kind of introduction to the whole fan base.
It was surreal. It was like it's what I've dreamed of. Scoring in Austin Stadium, hearing the crowd. It was amazing just because that's what I wanted. I mean, the play was. It was just one regular play that we ran, and I caught the ball, and I saw nothing but the pylon. I was like, I'm going straight to the pylon, and that's what I did.
When you and Gary and Trayshawn all come in at the same time, do you guys kind of connect or bond in a way because you're going through the same stuff, transfers, learning that position, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I say with the portal, like us coming in at the same time is like we all want the same thing, is to win, and we want each other to win. And I feel like the whole receiving group want each other to be successful. That's one thing I like here is because everyone is wanting the guy next to them to be better. And like with Trayshawn, he came in, I think he came in a little bit before me. So when we got together and connected, we in the meeting rooms every morning, 6:30. And our bond just kind of grew up, going out to dinner and stuff like that. Even when Gary got here, he got here a little late. Gary got here, and we just took Gary straight through the plays, and he knew he was family immediately. So, and that's what we take pride in.
So you and Trayshawn at 6:30, like, hey, how are you getting up that early? Like, what was it? And then B, like, what's going on in the meeting? Like, you guys just looking at film, or like you guys connecting on a personal
We'll look
level?
at film and what we went over yesterday. Like we'll go over the install that we'll have for that day, and go back and look over the film that we had the previous day. So we just want to get better. Like all the little things that coaches like brag about and just talks about every day. That's what me and Trayshawn want to get better at. We want the little things to be better, so in a game it just come easy. It's like muscle, like reflexes and stuff like that.
What'd you learn about him in those 6:30 meetings, or getting to know him during that time?
I learned about Trey is he's all about business. He want to win. He's competitive. He's gonna push the guy next to him. He's accountable. That's what I think. Like he's really accountable. You can count on him to do, like on the field. If you have Trayshawn on that field and he's like, when he's locked in, he's locked in. There's no telling him what to do. Like he's gonna either you on your top game with Trayshawn or you're not. You're gonna get beat over the top. Get
out the way.
Yeah.
Your career production speaks for itself. How kind of enticing is it, exciting is it to be playing on a bit bigger stage here, and kind of you feel like a breakout season is coming for you? People actually gonna know your name nationally.
Just playing this big nationally is what I always wanted. I mean, this is just what I dreamed of. I'm prepared for it. I'm ready for it. And yes, I can say this is probably my breakout season because this is what I came here for. We have a lot of opportunities, but I also want to say that I let the game come to me. I want to be a team player first because I feel like if you have team success before individual success, that's what I'm big on. I want the team to succeed before me.
What do you think it's going to feel like when you raise your touchdown pass for about
I might break down and cry or something like that. Just because I go back and say that's what I always wanted. When I first got adopted, I went into the house in an Oregon sweatshirt. There was no Oregon fans allowed. It was all Auburn, War Eagle, and I'm the only guy in there with an Oregon shirt. When Bo played Oregon, when he was at Auburn his freshman year, I couldn't go because I was going to cheer for Oregon. Nothing bad towards Bo. Like I was going to cheer for him too, but I wanted Oregon to win. So I didn't go. I stayed at home, watched it on TV.
One of the things that was talked about is you need to bulk up a little bit. How has that been going?
It's been going really good. I'm at where I want to be right now, 160, so I'm feeling good. So it's kind of hard trying to keep the weight on just because I run so much, and like I have to constantly eat. That's the hard thing when you got to eat every 2 hours. So it's a tough thing.
Does that put a chip on your shoulder at all? Like in basketball, if the player's short, it's like that's the defining characteristic for why they can't be whatever. Does that feel like the same kind of? Do you feel like you've heard that, and how do you deal with that?
feel like football, like, I go back to the quotes I seen from Devontae Smith. We're not bodybuilders. We're actually football players. So when we out on that field, it really doesn't matter how big you is. If you can play football, you can play football. Teams are going to find you if they really want you at that next level. And I take pride in, I am a little guy, but you still got to catch me. So that's one thing I stand on.
What's it been like learning from Junior Adams since getting out here? What type of coach is he?
He's an amazing coach. He's all about business. He's gonna tell you the hard truth. He's not gonna baby you and be like, hey, this is okay, but you gotta do this. No, he's gonna tell you right then and there, like, you gotta do this better. In order to take yourself from good to great, you gotta do these little things. And that's what Junior Adams is really good at, and making his players feel like they're safe, even though the hard truth may hurt, but you gotta take it. It's not easy at the next level.
What do you feel like he's?
A lot of good stuff from Tez Johnson, some of the greatest hits, if you will, from his session on Media Day. And now it's that time. Rob Moseley's here, folks. It's the first day of football practice. Rob is ready. I am ready. He said he was ready. I'm ready. All right, we're gonna get timeout. Come back. Rob Moseley, crack that open, will you, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome back from the summer. Yeah, Scott didn't get any. We're back after this with Mose on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Cider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Every Wednesday, Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of Duck Football, or, well, really the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com on Twitter, at Duck Football and at GoDucksMoseley, but he really is the editor-in-chief of Ducks Football on GoDucks.com. Did I
Good
get
recovery.
There? Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, it's preseason camp for all of us.
Yeah. So I said so you'll love this. So it's Monday, or no, it was Tuesday. See, I'm already not in midseason form. It was Tuesday, and I misread my own outline. And it wasn't because I couldn't read my handwriting, which happens a lot because I have terrible handwriting.
Right.
It was actually that, like, I misread my own computerized outline, and I said, well, that was part 2 of Coach Lanning. We have more of part 2 coming up. Well, that didn't make any sense.
Part 2 could have, like, an A and a B.
I guess, but it didn't. The next segment was Bo Nix. It was not good. Yeah, the broadcaster needs time to warm back up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Usually, I think by like the second week of camp, we're kind of back in.
Yeah.
You know. So
I was thinking as recently as yesterday, like, I'm just not ready.
Really? You said you were ready a second ago.
Right. As recently as yesterday.
Oh,
Today,
I
brand new day.
Okay.
Brand new day.
Good. You woke up today and you were like, it's football.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Let's go.
Yeah. We're going to talk a lot of football, but first, welcome back. We've
Thanks.
decided that we have a new name for you.
Okay.
Scott came up with it. I can take zero credit. You got to turn your mic on over there.
Yeah, no, I forgot what it was already. It was
We decided we're going to call you Diet Mountain Moe's.
Diet Mountain Moe's.
Okay.
There it was.
Yeah.
I need to go on a diet.
Yeah. Oh, well.
It wasn't a verb, but
it was, yeah. So
there's a comment there. Diet.
Yeah. We're throwing this around, and we'll see if it sticks.
Got it.
Who knows? What'd you do all summer?
Oh, man. I was everywhere. I was out and about. Yeah. The wife and I went on a cruise in May.
Nice.
I think we talked about that probably.
Did you get seasick?
No.
Good.
Yeah. I got seasick. I think I've told you this. I got seasick like the first half hour I was on a cruise ship the first time we went on a cruise last year.
Yeah.
But then
there's
definitely about 20 minutes there I was like, oh no, if I'm not like a cruise guy,
it could be
the
bad.
worst time to find out, like right at the beginning.
Could
But
be bad.
it's fine, yeah. And then there was a lot of baseball and softball obviously in the spring. And then I went home for a little bit to the Bay. I went to a couple A's games. I was kind of sad.
Yeah, that's depressing.
And then I saw Dead and Company
a few
3
times.
weekends in a row, 7 times. Should have been 8.
7 times.
But a friend selfishly got married the day of one of the shows.
Don't you hate that?
So it was a good time.
Nice. Yeah. Well, so there was a request on Twitter before the show came back from summer break that we had to get the full breakdown. So this is your open floor for the full breakdown.
All right. So I went to the last 3 weekends of Dead and Company: Boulder, the Gorge, San Francisco. I missed the Friday show in San Francisco. Congrats to Pat and Sarah. It was a wonderful day. But no, it was actually that's a good entry point for kind of why I did this. Like my freshman year at Oregon's when I really started to get into the Dead, and that was 94, 95. So that was like the last year they toured. Jerry died like this week in 1995. Yesterday was his birthday. And so I never got to go on tour. And my best buddy Chris, who I worked with at the Emerald and then the Register Guard, he's still at the Register Guard, does great track and field coverage among other stuff. He did tour with the Dead. He's a little bit older. I was always very jealous. I love hearing his stories. And so when Dead and Company, the current version with John Mayer playing guitar, and he's phenomenal, said this was maybe the last time they actually did like a full tour, I was like, well,
now or never.
Yep, last chance. So the wife begrudgingly okayed it.
Shout out Brielle.
Yes. And then, so Chris and I went to the 3 shows in Boulder, and then the last 2 shows in San Francisco. And then in between, I went to the Gorge because he had to cover the USA track meet. I went to the Gorge with Will Patterson from our men's basketball SID, and it was just phenomenal. It was and to the point of being able to miss a show and not kill myself about it. Like in the past, Chris and I would see 1 or 2 shows a year, and the Grateful Dead's catalog is massive, and I always put so much pressure on hearing stuff I wanted to hear, and I'd be watching set lists, and if they played stuff I wanted to hear close enough to the show I was going to, it meant they probably wouldn't play it then, and I was bummed. But there was none of that. I've seen them 7 times. I was going to hear everything I wanted to hear, and absolutely did. And so the ability to just sort of give myself over to every single show and just have a blast was awesome. And I was thinking about it yesterday thinking back on it, think about it in the context of sports. It's it's everything. A show like that is everything that's great about sports. Is it brings a bunch of people together from different backgrounds,
community.
It's a relatively homogenous crowd in a lot of ways. I don't mean to suggest it's the most diverse cross section of people in the world, but it brings a lot of people together, and kind of nothing else matters except everybody's sort of mutual enjoyment of this one thing. And it's like you go to a football game where there's no opposing team.
Yeah.
But everybody still just is
into it,
ecstatically cheering for the home team, you know, and the home team wins because there's no opponent, and everybody's stoked about it. And
it's the spring game.
It's really fun. Yeah, kind of like the spring game.
It's the spring game.
Yeah, except if the spring game
mattered,
meant a little more. Yeah,
exactly. Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Well,
so
what a cool deal.
Yeah, when I came off the road, so to speak, and was kind of bummed that it was over.
Yeah.
I went to the Incubus show at Cuthbert the next weekend. I'm not a big Incubus guy, but a bunch of friends were into it, and I was like, yeah, what the heck, I'll go to a show. And Bro was like, aren't you tired of going to shows at this point? And I was like, no.
No.
If the Grateful Dead, if Dead and Company had been playing anywhere in like the Western Hemisphere that weekend, I would have gone there.
Wow.
Like, I was just like on the bus, man.
You are in the zen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but so it was a great way. It was like an exhausting way to like recharge from the athletics season.
Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily feel like physically like ready for things to get back going again.
Yeah.
But like mentally, it was an amazing reset, and let's go.
It's amazing. Like there are so many fans that I hear from that'll make the road trips, right?
Yeah.
And I even think in a lot of sports, it's a lot of times like the families of the student athletes that are making all these trips, and like it's. Like I think about it a lot. Like sometimes I'm like, oh man, like traveling, like it takes toll on me for sure. But when you get to do it for something that's a little different, it's a whole different lens. That's cool. That's
the
awesome.
gorge was tough. It was really hot that weekend.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of just sort of sitting around in the shade, trying not to sweat everywhere.
It's okay though. Everyone's doing that.
The Bay Area show. I mean, I'm from there, so it was that was a different vibe. And I went to another A's game on that trip. There was actually a funny deal because one of the original drummers is sat out this tour.
Oh.
So they got this younger guy who has sat in with them a lot of times before, but he's a Bay Area guy. And so the Saturday show at Oracle in San Francisco, he wore one of the Cell shirts for the Oakland A's. And none of the Deadheads had any idea what it meant. So I went to the A's game Sunday.
You were the smart one.
Before the last Dead show. And so I wore my Cell shirt to wear to the A's game and then just had it on because I went right to the Dead show. And all these Deadheads are like, where did you get that? And what does it mean? And I was kicking myself because if I had bought like 20 Cell shirts at the A's game for like $10 each or $20, I could have sold them for the Deadheads for like $50 and told them, Lord knows, made up some story about what they meant. But because the drummer was wearing them, everybody was like, I almost had a dozen people come up and ask me like, what does your shirt mean?
You know what? You just gave a great example of the power of NIL, Rob.
Yeah. Branding.
Branding.
He wore it, and everybody wanted one.
See, that's what happens.
But to the point, though, about traveling and, like, kind of, Chris and I have reached a station in life where we're not exactly roughing it.
Uh-huh.
Like, we pay a little more for a nicer hotel.
Sure.
It's
good.
Yeah.
You've earned that.
Yeah. We're not.
You got there.
Yeah, we're not hitching a ride and pitching a tent in a field.
That's
and
great.
Bumming food off people.
Yeah. Good summer.
Yeah, great summer.
Good summer. And now it's first day of football practice.
Yes.
I ask you this every year.
Yes.
And I always do it a few different times. Where are your eyes going to go? Where are your eyes going today? What are you watching today?
Yeah, I think, as usual, I think it's that first day of like, wait, who is who and who's wearing what number?
Right.
I mean, a lot of the new guys.
Hey, I don't know about you. I'm ready.
Here.
I got the roster.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I haven't even bothered like trying to study. I'm just like, I need like the visual cue of like, wait, who is that? And body types. And, by Friday we'll be laughing about how ignorant we'd been on Wednesday.
I hope.
We'll have them by then. Yeah,
right.
it's usually a couple days.
Okay.
It always comes faster than you think it's going to.
That's true.
Seems daunting.
That's true.
It's like when you run up a hill. The bottom of the hill, you're like, oh, I gotta run up this damn hill. And you get to the top, and you're like, that wasn't too bad. So just getting a sense of the new guys. Obviously, Will Stein, new offensive coordinator, but we saw some of that in the spring.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot more like just how do things shuffle out with a lot of the talent that came in, particularly like defensive front seven. How's that all going to stack up?
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to know. Not only who's going to play, but how many guys are going to play, what rotations look like, things like that. And, I think the offensive line, too, with all the new pieces.
Sure.
Now that, maybe some guys are healthier than they were in the spring, you got a couple new additions since the spring. How do things all stack up there? Not stuff that matters a ton right now at this moment, but it's all, you got to set a foundation and get a starting point. And, it'll probably be a few days before there's open practice periods and sort of, fans can start to get a better sense of what things are looking like behind the scenes. But I think from the program's perspective, that's probably helpful. Get a few days where guys can just work out. None of us,
less external
guys
pressure.
like us aren't reading too much into, passing along who's practicing where and who's making big plays and blah, blah, blah. The guys can have a few days to just sort of get some work under their belts, and then next week, open up practice a little bit, give people an idea of what's going on a little bit in there, and kind of who's playing with who's available, all that.
It's always amazing to me in these settings of kind of that like ramp up as you're describing. There's always a circle around that first scrimmage. There's just sort of a build toward that. But for me, I get excited every time it's a 7-on-7 or it's an 11-on-11.
For sure.
Anytime you hit that first 2-minute drill, for example, those are fun to watch for people like
That's
us.
when the scribbling gets furious.
Yeah.
Who's playing with who? What are the lineups?
You talk about someone who can write fast, and I can't read his handwriting. You and many writers that are
sometimes I can't.
Great note takers, though. You guys really do have a shorthand that's it's something.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody saw my notepad from practice, a lot of it's just numbers. It's
right.
And you literally like the 11 guys on one side of the ball. You can see the formation. Just getting a sense of who's playing with who, what's what do rotations look like, things like that.
But even when you take quotes,
are they going?
I mean, I've watched you. You're quick.
You just need some keywords because a lot of it is just like, what are we going to talk about on the Quack Minute?
Yeah, that's
so
right.
It's like, okay, let's get some keywords so that I can like trigger that memory in my head because we're doing the Quack Minute like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
If I needed to remember it 3 hours later, I'm going back to the recording.
Yeah. See, it's funny. Like I'm, the audio nerd here. Like I'm always so worried about the microphone being in the right spot so that we can hear it later.
Totally.
It's funny. Like that's
it's the
how
bottom
I
line. We gotta take care of ourselves.
You're right.
Our own interests.
First Quack Minute coming today. We will have Quack Minutes after the majority of Oregon practices. Again, you'll hear from a lot of student athletes. Hear from Dan Lanning today. It's funny that you say that too, because like today I'm already thinking, all right, what's Coach going to say today? Like that's what we're all kind of waiting for is what's his reaction to practice number 1. Chances are it's not going to be like, well, today sucked. If it is that, boy,
trouble.
Yeah.
But I think despite sort of the external prognostications and being picked 4th in the league, this is a program that expects to compete, for championships, at the conference level and hopefully on the national level. And so you do have to set a demanding standard, if in a way, it's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it wouldn't be totally shocking to hear him come off the field and say that's not what it's got to look like. And guys are going to learn, and we had a lot of new faces, and they got to learn what the expectation is.
Yeah. How about 50 newcomers on this roster?
It's remarkable.
It's a lot.
Just this new era of college athletics. That's the normal.
Remember when it was like normally about 25% roster turnover?
Yeah.
It's through the roof now.
I swear I saw a 2-deep from Colorado, and obviously that's a very extreme example. But there was like one guy on the defensive 2-deep that
you recognized.
A returner,
Yeah. No, I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah, but it's going to be great. I think he'll get why are you practicing in the afternoon? What do you like about that format? What did you want to see today? What newcomers stood out? He won't mention anyone.
That's right.
But you got to ask.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he might.
You're right about that. Also, I have to tell you, Harry says I am impressed with Rob, a very interesting guy. I knew nothing. See? People like you, Rob.
Sort of implies that he anticipated that I was just sort of an empty polo.
That's what I am.
And now he's like, there's actually some substance
there. Look, Rob, people are used to watching and listening to me every day. Then you come in and it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
A guy who goes on tour while I was just sitting around trying to keep a almost 1-year-old alive.
Yeah. Well, that's probably more important than the bigger. It's funny. I was actually thinking about this. I heard this great analogy. I was listening. Do we got to go to break?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. I was listening to this podcast the other day. I heard this great analogy because I'm childless by choice and intend to stay that way unless something.
But
changes.
I want to say Rob is great with kids.
I love kids.
Love
kids.
Great. Yeah.
No desire to have one.
You like being the funkle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I know.
Even if I'm not related to your kid by blood, I'm going to spoil them. No doubt. But I heard this great analogy, this podcast I was listening to, and it compared sort of it was this, they were getting deeply philosophical and metaphysical and all, counterfactuals and things like that.
This is your way.
But they compared sort of choosing not to have kids, choosing to be childless versus choosing to have kids to like basically somebody who's on a diet and says, I'm not going to eat ice cream, which I think is kind of like the people who choose to have kids. And there's the people who are like, yeah, I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to eat ice cream all the time. And that's me. And both of those people find their choice to be rewarding in a lot of ways.
Sure.
And also have maybe some doubts if maybe the other choice might not be pretty cool too.
Sure.
Yeah. And so I just think whoever you are, you got to focus on your positives.
Yeah, I'd take the ice cream.
Well, yeah, it tastes good. I'm not going to lie.
I'm just telling you.
But again, Hence the Diet Mountain Dew.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Diet, comma.
Yeah. On that
Mountain
note.
Moe's.
Hey, thanks, Mountain Moe's.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely.
This is great. This has been, yep. This is a Wednesday. You know, you're going to get the best Duck Insiders on Wednesdays because Rob and I go straight to left field, and we eventually find our way back home.
Maybe.
Usually.
Maybe.
And then on Fridays, I mean, I don't think you've ever actually been the guest picker. We may have to have you come in and be a guest picker one week. Because the picks with Jerry and Georgie
I'm going
and
with the
I,
Ducks.
We don't pick. that's so funny. We don't pick the Oregon game.
Yeah.
But, Rob, I got to tell you, so, like, Schwartz is in. Jeff Schwartz was a guest picker one week.
Yeah.
And Schwartz goes, wait, what the heck do you mean you don't pick the Oregon game?
Yeah.
He was, like, dumbfounded. And
Yeah.
we were like, well, we'd always just pick Oregon. And he was like, I don't know if I would.
Yeah.
You know, like,
no, he's into, like, the gambling
Yeah,
stuff.
he's got
so
that
he's thinking
side of
about
it.
point spreads and all that stuff. Yeah. That stuff's beyond me.
But, yeah, the Friday edition, as routine listeners and viewers know, is you bring the headache medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
Headache medicine.
Yeah. Whatever you choose, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, whatever you need, you're going to need it.
Bourbon.
That too.
Okay.
Yeah. You're going to need it. Yeah, you're going to need it. He's Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com, at DuckFootball, at GoDucksMoseley. Practice report coming today, right?
I was thinking about that. I don't know. Maybe because I don't know if I could publish it till like 8:30 or 9. And so do I wait till the next morning? I don't know. We'll wing it.
So either tonight, you will see a Quack Minute tonight. That
For
I
sure.
can confirm.
No, you're going to see content.
Just might be tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it might be some tomorrow.
Yeah,
some
that's
tonight,
cool.
some tomorrow.
That's
We'll
cool.
see. We'll see.
Rob Moseley, thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
good to have you
absolutely.
back.
Yeah, great to see you guys.
We're gonna
Did
get a
you
break.
guys have a good summer?
Yeah, it was fine.
Good. Two thumbs up.
Yeah.
Good.
No complaints.
Good.
I'm
The
ready.
child
for
is still alive.
Yeah.
Right on.
Wife was at a bachelorette party for 4 days.
Ooh. Was that your longest extended?
That was her longest extended time
Okay.
without him,
Yep.
and my longest extended time being solo. And I'm happy to report that he's still breathing.
Yes.
You know,
It's a bottom line business.
Hey, I take my positives.
Wait, who had a harder time during that 4 days, mom or dad?
Probably mom.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
Like, was she able to sort of let herself go and enjoy?
The goodbye was hard, as you
Yeah.
can imagine.
Yeah.
You know,
But once she was there, did you get a sense she was having fun?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
she had a good time. Yeah. But like I've traveled a lot since he's been born. So
Right.
it was funny, like used to it is a weird word, but I was
Sure.
kind of used to it.
Yeah.
You know, like being away.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to report we made it through. He still ate great.
Nice.
So, you know.
Fruity Pebbles and
Not yet.
Hamburger
Not yet.
Helper. and-
Strawberries are his favorite thing in the world.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Strawberries are his favorite.
That's healthy.
Followed closely by cheese.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fromage.
So, yeah.
Trying to learn some French for the Olympics next year.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're making the trip, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
I
All
don't
right.
want to be one of those obnoxious Americans that doesn't know any French.
Well, that's good of
So
you.
I'll try to learn a little.
Yeah, that's good of you.
Fromage.
Je ne sais quoi. Mountain Mouse. On that note, Quack Minute coming later. Rob will be back with us next week. We'll have more football to talk about. When we come back, let's hear a little bit from Troy Franklin. He was here in the Country Financial Studio. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wander. Metamorphosis, loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
We're back on Doug Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. OnPoint people are the point. Troy Franklin, he was here with us in the Country Financial Studio as part of Media Day. We talked with one of Oregon's big contributors on offense and a guy who figures to be a big impact player, wide receiver Troy Franklin with us. Media Day continuing, talking now with a wide receiver in Troy Franklin. Troy, thanks for being here, buddy.
No problem.
How are things?
Things are good.
How's the off season?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Just got to come back from home, had a break. So, I needed that. It was pretty cool, though, yeah.
You mentioned, needing that. It's important to decompress and unplug, isn't it?
Most definitely, yeah. When you're having workouts every day, working out, just at the facility, you kind of need a break from football and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right, so this is the first time that you've been in the studio. So when it's the first time you're in the studio, everybody's heard me now say this 1,000 times over the course of the last day. You have to tell your 2-minute life story, okay? So your 2-minute life story, it's your story, however you want to fill the 2 minutes, but we are competitive. So we have a leaderboard. We know who's gotten the closest to 2 minutes ever. Okay. So the goal is to get to right on 2 minutes if you can do it.
All right.
You ready?
Let me see, yeah.
It's your 2 minutes. Troy Franklin, go.
All right, Troy Franklin. I'm from East Palo Alto, California. I was raised by my mother, Danessa Fuller, and my father, Jabbar Franklin. I started playing football around the age of 5 years old. First, let me tell you my schools. I went to elementary school at Walter Hayes. My middle school, I went to Jordan Middle School, and then high school, I went to Menlo Atherton. And then, so I started playing football around 5, and then, kind of fell in love with it there. Played all the way up until now. I'm 20 now, and, I've also played basketball. Ran track when I was younger also, but I didn't like it. I've had asthma, grew out of it now, though, but, didn't have that mindset when I was younger to just try to fight through it. Man. My first offer in high school was San Jose State, and that was my freshman year. After I got that, I kind of just they kind of just kept rolling in and kept working. I kind of didn't get complacent, had good years in high school. Won the state championship my sophomore year. Yeah, so that was pretty fun. Went to some camps, went to the Washington camp, went to the Oregon SNL camp. That was actually cool because I recently went to it this past Saturday. So, yeah, that was awesome. Washington, Utah, and Oregon, I went to those camps. And then when it got down to, my final picks and stuff when I was committing, it really came down to, Washington and Oregon, And, I picked Oregon because it's always been my dream school. The jerseys flashy, things like that. They caught my eye when I was younger, and, they were good, best team in the pack. So, that's it right there. And crazy story is that June was, actually the guy recruiting me while I was in high school, and he's my receiver coach now. So, and he was at Washington, so that's pretty cool. But, I'm here now, going into my 3rd year, and,
2:24. Pretty good.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Did you think it was shorter than that?
I was like, damn, I'm actually going kind of long. Yeah.
It's amazing though. The reason that I asked that, because I can read about your bio, but I like to know kind of what you're proud of in your life, and so I think that's cool. I did want to ask you though about Coach Adams,
for sure.
that's why relationships, I feel like, are so important. Like
Facts, yeah. It's a small world, and you never know what's gonna come back around. So
yeah,
for sure.
That's wild. Tell us a little bit about him. I mean, what's it like working with him as a coach?
It's pretty cool. We're both from the Bay Area, so we kind of have like a lot in common. I get like how he is, what he's trying to say, like what he means and things like that. So it's pretty cool having him as a coach or whatever.
Tell us about the position group. I mean, what's the wide receiver room like? Take fans inside of it.
Man, I think we're a pretty good group. We're pretty funny. We got a lot of young guys in there. Couple senior, like maybe 1 or 2 seniors. So we're a young group, but we're really good, and we have a lot of fun. We know when it's a place and time for everything. We know when to get serious, and I just think we know when to flip it on and flip it off. And, we're just really good at what we do, for sure.
So I was talking with Marcus Harper about this yesterday, that, like, for whatever reason, offensive linemen are always just, like, the funniest groups, at least externally. But I feel like wide receivers are sometimes, like, and I'm stereotyping here a bit, but I'm curious your thoughts. Like, I feel like wide receivers are often that way, where it's, like, an on and off. And you guys are, like, some of the wittiest players that I ever talked to. Is that fair? Like, am I right in that?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a kind of on and off thing, I don't know what's about it, but like, yeah, we definitely got some funny guys in that group for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Are you the funniest? I mean, now I gotta know now.
I mean, I think I definitely am pretty funny. I'm a low key guy. I may say some slick things that are funny or whatever. Just maybe if you hang around me, just maybe how I am, my mannerisms and things like that. Maybe a little funny, but other than that, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know though. I gotta say, Troy, like when I think myself, fans, like watching you on the field, like we see that on switch. Like,
for sure.
That's what you live for in those moments, I'd imagine, right?
Most definitely, yeah. That's probably one of the most fun times of just like playing. Just having that passion. Yeah. So for sure.
What do you want to work on this year? What were some of your individual things you're trying to get better at?
My play strength, I just mentioned that in my other interview. I just kind of want to get stronger within the game. Just like within like running my routes and guys on the side of me, things like that. Through catches, things like that. Just knowing the defense more, just knowing the game a little more. That'll just help me. Just play faster, things like that. And kind of just moving around, things like that. Yeah. So.
How big of a deal is it to have your quarterback back? I mean, just from a consistency standpoint.
For sure, yeah, definitely. That's a big deal because we just have more of a connection, and we're gonna know what each other is doing without even saying it, So it's just gonna be better for sure.
What do you want to work on in the fall? Or I guess better thing to ask. Keys to success for a fall camp. Like you've been through these now a few times.
Man, yeah, this is going into my third one. I would just say consistency with like the treatment, because you're having practices back to back, every day. So, I'm getting in that treatment room and resetting your body to, feel good or how it was day one is probably pretty key. And just, staying in your playbook, and just kind of just doing all the work just for the 15 days, sitting down in that chair, locking in, and doing whatever you got to do for that 15 days. And then, it's going to be way more chill after. So, if you do that, just work hard for that, you'll be cool.
And you mentioned that you got a lot of young guys, and now you're going to your third year. You're a veteran now.
Yeah,
Does it feel like that for you?
Yeah, definitely. And I've been trying to do better with taking that veteran position. It's just like being more vocal and things like that because I would say I'm just more of a like lead by example type guy. So I'm definitely just trying to do a better job of doing that, and just being that leader type. So.
That's a hard thing to do, man.
Yeah, like, exactly. It is.
I can identify like it's one thing to get up there and say it, but that's a big deal. I imagine that's hard for you. You've had to work on that.
Yeah, nah, for real, yeah. But I just feel like it's a thing to where like you just have to do it, and I'm kind of like I'm almost there. But like just not there yet. But I'm almost there for sure.
Now, lastly, the guy that just walked in. I mean, you go up against him a few times.
Yeah, my guy.
You know, Triquez just walked in. Triquez probably could just do this interview in place of me, and it'd be fun. You know, what's that like going against those guys like him? I mean, you talk about iron sharpens iron. Like there's all these cliches, but that's a big deal, isn't it?
It's pretty fun, you know, because we get each other better. Like, you know, if we take a rep, you know, I might ask him, like, what'd you do on that? And then, you know, and, you know, try to steal and get something better off that I can do, you know, so I won't, you know, like, you know, mess up on that. But then, you know, he can do the same thing with me, you know, if he likes maybe one of my releases. And, you know, we just work off each other. So that's kind of the thing for sure.
Thanks for being here, man.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Hey, you're welcome anytime.
Bet.
You know, he did pretty good on the 2-minute life story quiz.
Legendary, yeah, and we're the same number, you know, so we got that on lock too.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's confusing for broadcasters like me, you know.
I know. I get so many messages of him, like, it's just so crazy.
I can imagine. That makes sense.
Man.
Troy, thank you. Appreciate the time. Good stuff with Troy Franklin. Tomorrow you'll hear that interview that we were alluding to with Triquez Bridges. Going to hear from another cornerback, though, when we come back in Dante Manning. More Duck Insider. We're rolling on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/our stories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio. Dante Manning, one of the big cornerbacks, one of the big defensive backs for the Ducks. I've been talking a lot about the versatility of the defensive backfield. I think Dante Manning fits there too. But certainly, that's a huge part of this Oregon defense, being able to cover. From Media Day, Dante Manning chatting with reporters.
Dante, how are you feeling about the defense, and what do you think is going to be a little different this year than maybe it was last year and what we saw production-wise?
I got a really great feeling about this defense. I'll say what I feel is most different is that level of intensity. I feel like now it's raised to a whole nother level. Like, we're happy about what we did last year, but that's not enough right now. So we kind of just been elevating that standard.
How are you looking to apply that theme of good to great in your own personal game in your life?
Just really learn from the mistakes I've already made. These last couple of seasons, making those mistakes and learning from them and looking back at them and kind of learning from them and playing it differently, I guess. But just being able to elevate my game.
What are maybe some of those lessons you and the defensive backs learned last year that you're trying to apply this year?
I would say me personally is just winning on my leverage, playing the call when we play the call, not getting too much in my head about what I'm doing and just do what I got to do.
Yeah, as you've gotten further in your career, how has your ability to self-improve improved? Or self-evaluate, excuse me.
I say it's improved a lot. I say my freshman year, I really wasn't going back and watching myself and seeing like where I need to correct myself or anything like that. But now it's like it's almost a have to. Like I have to see what I'm doing wrong. I have to see what I'm doing right. You know.
Dante, you're going to be seeing a familiar face week 2 in Tyler. You were on that team the COVID year. What is it going to be weird, kind of seeing him on the other sideline and up against him?
Not really. Tyler, my boy. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know, when I was first here, he was the quarterback for Oregon. So it's nothing but a little rematch, a little family reunion. That's all it is. What's good with you?
I'll ask you the question I asked you last year too, but like, are there guys or position groups that have stood out through summer that you think are maybe going to, I don't want to say surprise people, but maybe that'll excite people when they see them on Saturdays?
Yeah, I'm going to say our defensive back group is crazy. I'll say our D-line is crazy too. We got a lot of new faces. I'm not even going to name them, but just know we got a lot of new faces that y'all going to love to see.
With the portal and just how easy it is for people to move around, does that get daunting at all when you're looking to maybe a year where you can break out of just players being added and trying to kind of manage all of that?
Not really. I feel like the transfer portal just adds, that more level of competition to those guys who's hungry to, go out and play. You never want to shy away from competition, and it's only going to get better the more people you bring in. So just being able to compete at the highest level, is going to get you prepared for the highest level.
Sure. How did you see Coach Lanning change over last year, and where do you think you're going to see something different this year?
I say Coach Lanning, I seen like a level of like, how should I put it? He was happy about what we did last year, but like nowhere was that ever good to him. Like, he came from a national championship team and things like that, so he knows what it looks like, what it sounds like, So, he wasn't happy about where we ended last year, but he wasn't, mad about it either. I don't know how to put that, but just being able to set like this ground, like what we did last year is like the base minimum, what we need to do. So, like, he's just raising that bar.
Yeah, what way did you think that he's trying to build you guys up from that foundation that you had last year to this year?
Just being able to, constantly put in our brains that, this is what we're here for, this is what we're doing, as long as we have 11 guys ready to do what we got to do, we can do it.
Dante, who's the fastest guy in the locker room?
I'm gonna say myself.
Okay. How do you match up against Roderick? That's what I want to ask you. Like that kid's fast.
Hey, no, I'm gonna stop playing. Roderick Pleasant is fast. Like, he probably the fastest, I'll say. He has real track speed. Like, track speed and football speed are two different speeds. But Roderick, he'll look like he relaxed, but he's moving. Like, he's fast. But
a lot of good stuff from Dante Manning. A little bit more from his interview. You can find it on the GoDucks YouTube if you're interested. I love that, though. I'm going to say it myself. Yeah, but actually, Roderick Pleasant's pretty fast. I thought that was great from Dante Manning. When we come back, your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill on a Wednesday. The details of FanFest, if you missed it to start the show. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey, Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Back on Nugget Side, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. OnPoint Community Credit Union proudly supports University of Oregon athletics. OnPoint, people are the point. Our Fan Fest is coming up as we look at your Cafe Yum 2-minute drill today. 2-minute drill always brought to you by Cafe Yum. Man, now I'm hungry. Enjoy a famous Cafe Yum bowl at 23 Cafe Yum restaurants throughout the Northwest, home of the Ducks. The Oregon Athletic Department will host a Fall Fan Fest on Sunday, August 13th in the Moseley Center. Student athletes from Duck football, soccer, volleyball, women's basketball, men's basketball will be in attendance. There's going to be a lot of different games, inflatables, activity stations, various agility drills, a whole lot more for fans to enjoy. Admission is free. The event will start at 11 a.m. on Sunday, August 13th, run until 12:30. Fans, you will sign a liability waiver upon entry. Parking will be available for free in the Moseley lot and in the Autzen East lot. Sunday, August 13th, 11 a.m. until 12:30, Fan Fest. Fans will have the opportunity to take photos with student athletes in attendance, but no autographs will be permitted. No food or drink is allowed inside the Moseley Center, but some of the activities that you're going to enjoy, and I got to say, now that I'm a dad, I'm really behind all of these free ways to entertain my son. Football passing station, a football receiving station, and a field goal kicking location. Soccer penalty kicks, a dunk tank. I think that we should motion for Rob Moseley to be in the dunk tank. Scott agrees. Rob, if you're still listening, I think we're on to something here. Photo station, a combine station, various lawn games, Fan Fest, Sunday, August 13th in the Moseley Center. Free admission, 11 a.m. until 12:30. Not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. Football practice this afternoon. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, I'll be out on the practice fields. We've got Coach Lanning for you on the show tomorrow, and the Quack Minute coming your way tonight. See ya.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.